Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 28. I got that right. Of the Thank You Bro podcast. I'm your host, Will Glover, along with my co-host, the Galloways. Both of them. They're both here. And you can't see this, but their names say Tatum 50 bomb tonight, and Tatum's not playing. And then Ryan is very enthusiastic about his name, the Thank You Bro podcast. So, fellas, how y'all doing tonight?
My name, for context, was set up last week. I didn't change it. So he in fact did not get 50 that night.
Okay.
No, did not.
No, that's fine.
No, I don't
Manifesting
I think he
for
only
round
played
one,
like
though.
10 minutes.
Yeah, it's just manifesting for the first round.
That's fine.
Yeah, and so what we're going to do tonight, and what we're going to do moving forward, we're kind of just going to go. Oh, wow! I had a stroke. Did you hear that? We're kind of just going to essentially pick a topic, stick to it the entire time, whether it takes us 50 minutes or 2 hours, and we're going to get through it. We're going to cover pretty much one thing, unless we get breaking news that happens.
Breaking news coming across the desk right now. Kawhi Leonard, superstar for the Clippers, and will be discussed heavily in this episode. Right knee inflammation, kind of out of left field. Played the most games this season than he has in a long time, but this is going to greatly impact the first round series.
So he's out? Is he out for the series?
It's up in the air. They're evaluating him a little bit further, but
okay.
he along with Giannis.
We can talk about it in a second. Hey, hold on. I'm almost done.
Question marks.
Hold your horses. I know you're excited for today's episode. Today we're going to be playoffs. I know we're going to be talking NBA playoffs, and we're going to rank every single playoff team, including the play-in. And once we're done ranking, we're going to each give our own playoff prediction. Wow, Spencer, don't do that. We're going to give our playoff predictions, which means we're going to be kind of looking at the bracket and doing a mini March Madness, if you may, with the bracket, and then we will wrap it up. And yeah, all right. So, fellas, let's just hop right into it. Okay, let's talk about the obvious, the only S tier team. We're going to rank them in tiers. It's S, A, B, C, and D. When I upload the video, there will be an F tier, and those are just the teams that didn't make the playoffs. So those are all F, because I couldn't find a way to remove the logos. So I just
S in our hearts, though.
The
S in our hearts.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Is there a template for this? Because I can go along with it.
Yeah. Just go to a tier maker, tiermaker.com.
I might
Huge
do
shout
that as
out.
well.
They did not
kind of
sponsor
keep me in
this
line
episode.
here.
Yeah, just go to tier maker. I thought I already said this, but I guess that's on me. I didn't prepare the boys well enough.
Well, that's all right. And also, I think on NBA.com, and I know in years past they've done it to where similar. I know you kind of mentioned March Madness. They do their own thing where you can kind of pick the series winner and how many games it takes. I think maybe what we could do is maybe we could off air, maybe make our own, and then
here we go. I got to
be kind of a fun little thing to follow along with.
We can create a graphic or something.
Here we go. NBA playoff teams tier list. There we go. Very nice.
Oh, what the heck?
Nice.
I love it.
I
love it.
There are
Anyways,
so many ads on this website.
Yeah, I know. Ad blocker. Another shout out. Ad blocker. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, though. Installed. While y'all get ready, I'm going to just start us off with the obvious and only S tier. The only S tier team.
Only.
It's the only one.
No, I agree 100%.
There's not
only S tier.
Because the only reason why I rank the Celtics as the only S tier right now is because the West is so balanced. The Celtics, I don't know how good the East is. The Celtics dominated it, though. They were the clear number one team the entire season. I don't even think there was a week where I thought that there's a different. Maybe when they lost to the Hawks twice in a row, that was pretty bad.
That was a rough week.
Besides that,
then,
though, but yeah. So
no, but yeah, exactly. You're looking at the teams. You're looking at the West versus the East, and with the East, the Celtics should relatively easily come out of the East this year. I think 100%. This is their year. This is the Celtics championship to lose. This is their year. I think they're going to win it. Anything could happen. We've seen crazier things happen. We've seen Miami happen. We've seen a lot of different stuff. But barring anything extreme, I think I would be surprised seeing anyone else. And that's not just me, a Celtics fan talking. That's me understanding basketball and watching a lot of basketball this year. I think that the Celtics are going to do it.
No, I agree completely. I mean, they have a arguably top three player in the league and then you have Jaylen Brown, who's top 15, and then you have the rest of the supporting cast.
That's the nicest you've ever been to Jason Tatum. Holy crap.
I know. Arguably top 3, top 5. Okay. Hold on.
It's a new age.
You're going to make me take my words back.
That was really nice.
Just a kid. He's just a kid from St.
So
Louis.
so just we won't live here. Just only definitively behind Jokic and Luka?
And Luka. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I actually think
Luka and
really
Jokic
nice
are far and away the two best players. You have an argument that SGA is also there. I just hate the free throws, man.
It's just too early for me with SGA, and we'll get into the Thunder. I think that's going to be a good series to talk about. Whatever it ends up being, there's a lot of ways it can break, and tomorrow night we'll obviously find out. But yeah, with SGA, I just need to see it in the playoff series just once, and then I'll bring him up there. But it's just,
me too.
Let's just see it.
We've seen what Luka's done in the playoffs by himself. Now he has help.
Yeah, I love that Mavs team.
Yeah, because this is Luka. So this is Kyrie's first time in the playoffs with Luka. We can talk about that in a minute. Let's focus Celtics.
First time in the playoffs in a while.
Yeah, let's focus Celtics here. So yeah, you have a top 3 to 5 player. You have Jaylen Brown, who's top 15, probably highest paid player in the league. Do I agree that he's the highest paid? I mean, he won't be in a couple of years.
It's just how it shakes out.
I always go off on I always go off on that
It's going to age well.
And then you have Porzingis, Derek White, kind of slumping a little bit, but it's playoff time. He's going to lock in. And then your bench. What a deep team. I mean, Peyton Pritchard has 40 point a night potential. If you gave him the
keys to the car
by himself, if you gave him the keys to the car, he could drop you 30 a night. He really could.
He's kind of crazy.
It's
really
crazy.
So talented.
Yeah, you switch him and Anthony Simons.
Yeah, which by the way, if he was like
beforehand.
drafted by the Hornets and was in that system, he just would have never worked out. But I think playing on a good team is always good for a young guy, and practicing in those practices, so good for development. And
look at
Ryan
Kawhi
said we
Leonard
should
in the
ship him off.
Spurs.
Well, I didn't say we should, but I'm
his
afraid
value
that
is
we're
pretty
going to
high.
have to.
So
it would be. I think it would be the right thing to do. There's just he deserves so much more minutes than he's going to get for the next 3-4 years behind Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Jaylen Brown.
Well, here's the thing. I do think
maybe he's a Spur.
This could be the first postseason where he actually gets some run along with. I mean, Hauser's gotten limited run in the past just because of his shooting ability, and he's got great size. But this might be the first playoffs because Pritchard and the rest of the youth on the Celtics has just been unplayable in the playoffs. But this year, I could definitely see them going a little bit deeper into the bench, especially in those earlier rounds where hopefully things break right and they don't have to face a Heat, don't have to face a Sixers. While we're here on S tier,
if they get the Hawks or the Bulls, they can minute restrict the entire 4 games that they'll play against them.
For sure.
And then they'll have to play some competition.
And that would be huge because, like, you look back to the finals run a couple years ago, Tatum was gassed by the end of it because that was such a grind to get to that finals for them. And the guys just had nothing left. And they were much younger, much less experienced at the time, a lot less deep than they are now. But I worry about the longevity for these players going in if they have to deal with a 6-7 game series right off the bat. You know, it's not going to get easier for them. And then you get to the finals against probably the Nuggets, maybe a couple other talented teams that we'll talk about. But you get there and it's like, what do you have left?
Yeah. Good point. Spencer, you're going to say something before?
I know we're going to move on to other tiers. I think it's just worth noting. I think we're omitting. We are omitting Denver,
but from S tier,
the reigning champs, and I know they didn't end up technically with the 1 seed. Things were so tight there at the end of the year, and then yesterday was just bananas. The way the seeds shook out. Poor Minnesota, they drew a pretty awful fate in the first round. But I would.
OKC did it. They got to play the Lakers. If the Lakers throw their game tomorrow and then they win their next 2, they got to. And then they win their next game. They got to play OKC, and they've absolutely dominated OKC all year. So,
but I think I'm going to keep Denver in S. I think having the best player. They'll always have the best player in any series.
Yeah, it's true.
That core has been together yet another year. They broke right with health so far, which has been their kryptonite in years past, except for obviously last year they had everybody was healthy and they went on to win a.
It's not the same team. It's not the same team like you think it is.
It's a less.
It's a
the
worse
worst
team.
version of the best team that was last year.
Yeah. Yep, 100%. And you saw the stats when Jokic isn't playing, the Nuggets are -9 differential, and when he's playing, they're plus 9. It's an 18.
Oh yeah, it's a huge swing.
They're not as good as the team as everyone thinks they are. But because they have Jokic, I can put them in A comfortably because of Jokic. But I'll do that right now.
So we'll slide them in for now.
If they run into the Timberwolves, they're losing. If the Timberwolves and Nuggets play, I don't know. I have the bracket here as well. They'll play next round. If they both win, and the Timberwolves and Nuggets run into each other, because remember last year, the Timberwolves gave them their most competitive series out of every series they had last year.
Right,
and you have Gobert. Sweep. No, it was 4. I think it was 4-1.
Was it 4-1? Okay, it was 4-1. 4-1.
And I know the Suns. I think the Suns were 4-2 against them, but it just didn't feel the same. You have Gobert, who's unfortunately, as a Spurs fan, probably going to win the Defensive Player of the Year, even though I don't think he should. But he's still a top 3 defender and the second best big man defender who can stop Jokic. And you just don't have the same pieces like you do. And now you have the Timberwolves, who are much better than last year with Anthony Edwards and Naz Reid. Love my guy Naz Reid. Those guys can shut down the other lineup as long as you keep Jokic to a 20-10-10, and the Nuggets won't win if they run in, which they probably will. If they run into the Timberwolves, they're a second round out.
I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse just yet. They have to get past the Suns. They have to get past the Suns, and if you have Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and co., you can't count them out. I like the Suns to at least make it a very competitive series. I think the Timberwolves will win, but the Suns look good. And if the Suns are healthy, that is a very tough team to beat. But the problem this year, we haven't seen them at their full force a ton, which is, I think, why they're 6th.
They are the most inconsistent team in the NBA, even amongst the teams that are out of the playoffs.
So if they can
tie
by
it together, far the most inconsistent.
Playoffs are different.
So since we're talking about the Suns, you wanna go ahead and tier them? Where do you put them?
I put them at B.
I want to put them in C personally.
C?
In B, C or B?
I think they just have too much talent and too much offense potential to be C.
Potential and output are two completely different things, though. And I have not seen
the output. And I think we're going to see.
They just have
Durant.
the most raw firepower.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that series last year against Denver, where, of course, they ended up losing it. And it was a 4-2 series for Denver, but it felt like they could have won a couple more games. Their issue was, I felt it was the depth, which I don't know what all they've really done. They haven't really done a lot to address that. They are better now. And the emergence of Grayson Allen, who just got paid, by the way, deservedly so. He's maybe one of the top 3 or 4 shooting talents in the league. And they got Bradley Beal, who lit it up. What's fun about this Suns Wolf series is that we got a preview of it yesterday. And the Suns made quick work of the Wolves. Couple outliers, though. Bradley Beal, 36 points, could not miss. And Anthony Edwards had probably one of his worst games of the season. He would put up an absolute stinker. And
he's not going to do that 2 times in a row.
I don't imagine that happening for a whole series. I think that's probably a 6 or 7 game series. And I think is the one I'm most excited for
as well.
That is true. It was also
Cat's first game back.
But that's huge for Minnesota. He's so easy to make fun of, but he really is so important to what they do.
And that's another thing. You run them and you run Denver into the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves were doing just fine without Karl Anthony Towns, and now you have him back, and it's just completely opens up your offense. Your spacing gets so much better now. We talked about this before. The greatest big man 3-point shooter in NBA history. And it's not even close at this point.
It's not.
So maybe Wemby catches him with just the amount of volume that he'll put up in his career. But yeah, I think so. Where do you want to put the Suns? I like your points. Since where you have them,
you're going to
vote B. Ryan's B.
I think they belong in B.
They're definitely not as good as Denver, but the Kevin Durant, Devin Booker ceiling, the shot making, it's almost second to none. It might actually just be second to none. It's incredible.
Their depth is just absolutely miserable. I mean, their bench, Royce O'Neal had 23 minutes. The rest of their starters are playing. Drew Eubanks is their seventh man. I mean, this is not a good bench. They're not deep.
No. But I thought they had that guy who was kind of like Wemby. What's his name? The guy
that Shaq compared him to.
He's just like Wemby, though, isn't he?
What happened?
That's what I thought. I was led to believe that he was just like Victor Wembanyama. And he only played 8 minutes in an important game yesterday.
I'm so glad Wembanyama shut down that conversation almost instantly.
By a landslide.
Oh yeah, I ain't never seen Bol drop 40, 20, 5, 5, 5.
Is it a coincidence at all that the Spurs' best performances of the year were all against the Suns? Like, do you think Wemby was getting
if we played the Suns
for those
if
games?
we played the Suns and the Nuggets, ironically enough, we would be a playoff team. If that's the only teams we played against, we'd be a playoff
insane.
Team.
They got up for big games. You got to love that. Got to love that for a young team.
All right. So since we've been talking about the Timberwolves a lot, and we've kind of already explained, and you know where I sit with Minnesota, I think they're A tier. Where y'all putting Minnesota?
I don't know. I can't put anybody in the same tier as Denver. For me, I can't.
For me, my list is tough. Celtics S, Nuggets A. All the other contenders are B tier. Because I think that there's that kind of divide. I really think it's Celtics 1, Nuggets 2, and then everybody else falls in. Not to say that they can't make noise and not to say that they can't go to the finals or win the whole thing. But I think that in terms of talent as it stands today and the way things are shaking out, I do think that there is that gap between the Celtics, the Nuggets, and everybody else.
That's something. I genuinely think there are about 5 or 6 serious contenders that I could easily put in A or B tier. But I think
that there's just that difference. I think there's just the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are.
I'm okay with Minnesota going to A, but Denver has to go to S. But if they're going to be A,
you can't put that team. That team is not good without Jokic. That team is a lotto team without.
None of these
Jokic.
teams are good without their players, though. Outside of Boston, Boston's fantastic, but
yeah, Boston without Jason Tatum is still a 4 seed, and
they're still a good team. Yes.
The Timberwolves without Karl Anthony Towns were battling for the 1 seed the entire season. Think about it.
Yeah.
If you took Jokic off the Nuggets, they are ass. I'm sorry. I genuinely think the Timberwolves, if the Timberwolves can get past the Nuggets, they're going to the finals unless they run into the Lakers. And I'm very high on the Lakers, but I'm still going to put, well, I'll talk about the Lakers in a minute. Let's go over to a East.
Let's go East. Let's go East because I really want to talk about the Thunder, but we'll go East first.
Yeah, the West is so much more intriguing. And you know what? Let's get some of the shitters out of the way here. Why don't we?
Shall we start?
Hawks and Bulls. Good old
D.
Our D tier matchup. The Bulls
suck.
Arguably
they should almost be F. They should almost be F.
They should be F. They are terrible. That is an awful team. I will not be watching the Hawks and Bulls play-in game.
You don't want to watch the Alex Caruso?
God,
watch that?
The fact that they're there makes me sick and is a testament to how weak the East is this year. It's disgusting.
It's just so top heavy.
It's not even top
39 and 43 against
heavy.
36 and 46. And I know the Hawks have been missing Trae Young for a pretty large portion of the season, but even with Trae Young, they were still hovering 500. Nothing moves me. The Hawks had a lot of opportunities to get better at the trade deadline, and they just didn't. That's on them.
They didn't.
They didn't do anything. They could have traded DeJounte Murray for picks. They could have added a piece around them, but they didn't do either of that. And
their 25 pick goes to San Antonio, right?
I don't know. I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Because if so, then I just don't know what they do. Because if it does, then they have no incentive to try to tank next year. And
they're just in limbo.
They're just kind of in no man's land right now.
Bad management.
The DeJounte trade.
And yeah,
should have.
It worked out for the Spurs. For the Spurs,
no doubt.
Just like the Richardson trade. Richardson for yeah, good times.
Oh yeah,
you like that?
No, I didn't. Never once.
Thank you, Eric White.
There's not much to say about these two teams. This is just an insane mid-off. DeRozan might drop 40. That's all I got.
I mean, I'm praying for it. As a Celtics fan, and we talked about this off the air a little bit. I mean,
I'm you want to play the Bulls
in round one against Miami or Philadelphia. They're both just not very strong, but obviously the record is not the whole story with Philly, with Embiid missing the majority of the season, and now he's back and he's starting to get in better shape.
And then, Jimmy Butler just turns into a different human being during the playoffs.
Yeah, and every year I say I doubt it. This year, I'm still saying it this year. I just don't think he's looked very, very good this year. It really does look like he's lost a step this time around, but with his track record, you just don't know. In the playoffs, he might just go superhuman.
He is shooting 42% from three this year.
You want to talk about the Heat? That.
Let's talk about the Heat. Let's just hop right into them.
C.
This is a team I like. You're gonna put them C. I'll have to agree just because of what they've done this season. I think they're B to A potential because they're the most experienced Eastern Conference team.
They made it to the finals last year.
They were an 8th seed and made it to the finals, and it's the same team pretty much.
It's in play,
except now they have Scary Terry. So,
which they have been much worse with
Jaime
him, by the way. So, I mean, if anybody can make it work, it'd be the Heat and Spoelstra.
Yeah, they can make it work. And you have the best coach in the league.
Yes,
he's the best coach, but I feel like, especially with their run last year, and this is gonna probably get a little bit of hate for me saying this, but it was just a fluke. They were making threes left and right, shots they would never hope of making in a million years. Everything went right for that team, and almost nothing went wrong. And even when it came down to the wire, first of all, they got torn to shreds by the Nuggets. But the Celtics came back. Game 7, Tatum gets hurt in the first quarter, and that was tough to come. First play of the game tough to come back from. I
still don't think they would have won.
I think
they should have never been in that situation. But look at the guys who were signature guys in that run. Gabe Vincent was a starter and played 40 plus minutes a night and was elite from three. He can barely crack the Lakers rotation. He has not really cracked the Lakers rotation. Well,
he's been injured all year.
He has been injured. That matters, but it's still the deviation. Caleb Martin has been, I don't know, mediocre, average, fine, but not a 40+% shooter. The confidence that this guy unlocked in the playoffs against the Celtics was, I don't know, it was the biggest jump from role players I had ever seen in the postseason series.
A lot of that was also coaching, though. Spoelstra coached circles around Mazzulla. It was Mazzulla's first year too. He was thrown in to the Wolves, and we saw issues all season long and into the playoffs for that Celtics team that showed us, they don't have the coaching to get all the way. They have the talent, and they have even more talent now, but I don't know. I think that is also something that just went really right for them, is that they got the best team in the East with a first-year coach who had no idea what he was doing.
And
that's fair.
The whole
but we're
thing
not talking
fluky.
about last year. We're talking about this year.
This year,
the whole thing was fluky.
Not moved.
And they're hot right now.
Don't care.
They've won 7 of the last 10.
Yeah, I'm not moved either.
I wouldn't be moved if I was a Celtics fan, but I think they can cause a lot of trouble to the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks come out of that series, especially without Randall.
Yeah. Okay, there's 1% of me that is like, if Miami stole game 1 on the road, I would be shitting my pants. I'd be like, fuck. They've got because by then they've got the mental edge. They may as well be a 60-win team. And they've got the best coach in the league by a country mile, dude. That is the one thing that bothers me.
Every time we have counted out Jimmy Butler, he has said, you know what, F you, and he's absolutely dominated. And everyone's counting him out this year again. So, I mean, you give someone who's insane a little bit of an edge, and they're gonna run with it. And Jimmy Butler's that guy. He might have the best mentality in the NBA when it comes to underdog type player. So
should we count him in? Just to avoid, should we be like nice to him? Oh yeah, Jimmy Butler is definitely good in the Heat. They're definitely going to be good this playoffs, and maybe he won't be as pissed off.
And he'd be like, "Oh, thanks, guys." With that being said, I'm going to put the Heat in B because of their experience, because of what they have.
C.
You're going to say C? We're going to put them in C.
It's got to be
not
C.
not enough talent.
Yeah,
but experience. They can trend up.
Yeah, we can check back in.
Showed that
after every round
last year showed it was better than talent. And I know I just said we're not talking about last year, but that's a little bit easier of an indicator. Oh, we'll put them C. That's fine. I think they're B. But that's why we have three of us here to break the tie.
So, it would be the 12th seed if they played in the West. So.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the West. We're given their circumstance. They're in the East.
But all 30 teams will be on the tier.
We're acting like the Heat aren't 10 games above 500. I mean, they won 10 games above 500 last year. They were only 6 games above 500. They had a better regular season than last year.
I'm also
they don't have to play the Suns in the playoffs. They have to play their competition. That's the thing.
What's crazy though is things are lining up for them to make another Cinderella run to the Eastern Conference Finals because they're facing the Randalless Knicks and then probably the Doc Rivers Bucks.
Yep. It's happening all over again.
So we'll quickly,
and then they'll run into the Celtics.
Do we think they're going to beat the Sixers on Wednesday?
Well, it depends.
Well, of course it depends. It depends.
No,
what
I'm saying can Bam shut down Embiid? No. And I think Bam's a perfect matchup for Embiid, though. I think if anyone's going to do it in the East, it's going to be Bam.
Yeah, Bam's awesome, but Embiid is Embiid, and I hate Embiid. But for one game, he can be himself.
Yeah, Embiid might drop 50, but if Embiid drops 50, but no one else does anything, the Heat will find a way to win a 91-89 game when Embiid drops 50.
I don't want to pretend that the Sixers, especially without Embiid, are a top 3 team in the East. They're not. Embiid, I think they're. If they had Embiid all year, I think they'd be a 5 seed, 6.
No, they would be a 2 seed.
No, they would be 2, probably 2 or 3.
You think so?
I mean, the bar was so low. 2.
Yeah, they were the 1 seed. They were the 2 seed. Sorry, Celtics were always the 1 seed. They were the 2 seed before Embiid got hurt.
I just feel like that team after Embiid, there's just such a steep drop off. You have Maxey, but I feel like they're just so.
And Maxey's an all-star.
Hey, fellas, breaking news. I talked about breaking news. We're going to cover it. Nets prepared to hire Kings top assistant Jordi Fernandez as next head coach. Good for the Nets.
I like it. I think that's.
Why am I forgetting the current Nets head coach?
He got fired. Jackie Vaughn, right?
Yeah, Jack Vaughn. That's right, Jack Vaughn. Yeah,
I think it's a good move. It's a young coach, I assume.
Yeah.
That's what they need. They need a first year guy.
keep him way down there. We don't know anything about this guy.
I like it. I think it's good. They need a young coach. They need a new fresh mind for that team.
Yeah.
Well, that team is just in.
Yeah, that's an AAU
team's
team.
In hell.
Oof.
All right, back to this. Back to the most intriguing. I think this is the most intriguing storyline in sports. Is where do you place the Sixers and the Heat? We obviously have the Heat as a C, although I believe they're a B, and I think the Sixers are a B team. But they have a upside. They have a potential. Simply, if Embiid comes back and picks up where he left off, then that team's pretty tough to beat.
No, even with Embiid, they've never made a conference final. No.
I think you put them at B.
They're on the same.
I'm putting them B.
I don't know. With the Embiid
potential, they're gonna play a tough team in the first round, Boston or New York. I don't see them.
The Knicks are B. The Knicks. You want to talk about the Knicks? We can talk about the Knicks. They're B without Randall.
Awesome. give Jalen Brunson his credit. Anunoby's back.
Jalen Brunson
I'm not a huge
is legit.
Anunoby guy, but
I think putting the Knicks in B is giving them credit, though, especially without Randall. I don't think Brunson can take them that far, to be honest with you. And that's not a slight on him. He's amazing. What he's done has been nothing short of spectacular, and that team has been phenomenal this year. I just don't think that team has what it takes to go the distance.
Then we'll go. Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
I'm ready to
I like him. I'm high on him, but.
And you know what? I thought the Knicks were gonna be something special until Randall got hurt. I thought that was something they were going to give the Celtics. They weren't going to win, but they were going to give the Celtics a run for their money, better than any team. But now I think the baton's been passed to the Heat with that one. I think the Heat could be something special. Just the way the Heat lines up, their playoff. It looks like it's just lining up perfectly. The stars are aligning for the Heat to be something special, or the Sixers. Whoever wins that
legacy run here.
Whoever wins tomorrow night. I think they play tomorrow night, right?
East is on Wednesday.
Okay, so Wednesday. Whoever wins that 7-8 seed game, that's going to be a problem. And if you're a fan of those teams they got to play, then sorry, because y'all might be cooked. So speaking of being cooked. Knicks. Yeah, I mean, the Knicks is just, they're just not deep enough for me. And they play a lot of minutes. They're already tired as hell. I
think they've unlocked new depth. DiVincenzo's growth, Josh Hart's growth, getting Anunoby back was huge. Without Anunoby, Hart was playing he was playing 48 minutes a night. Now they've got Anunoby back. Their defense is so special. Hartenstein I think has the best
you're right.
defensive plus minus in the sport. I mean,
he's
I
top,
wouldn't say
I think he's top 3 between him, Wemby, and Gobert, I think.
I wouldn't say he's defensive player of the year, but his impact is dramatic. And they've got great coaching. We cannot rule out great coaching when it comes to the playoffs.
So
shout out Tom
check
Thibodeau.
this out. So in the last 7 games, they're 6-1, the Knicks are, in their last 7. Brunson, leading scorer in each one of those games, 35, 35, 43, 45, 39, 30, and 40.
Special.
I mean, he's legendary. And Ryan, you hit the nail on the head. He's special, but can he keep that up?
Walked right out of Dallas.
Yeah. Well, that was never going to work in Dallas. Let's be honest.
No.
Brunson's play style is in terms of his scoring style is just like Luka, and you can't have two of those.
That's the same thing we said about Kyrie, though, and they work it. They make it work. It took
but
a
Kyrie
long time.
was more.
It took a year.
Kyrie was, and then Kyrie's a little bit more of an adaptive. Kyrie's been second fiddle before, and I know Brunson needed to get the reins of his own team, though. You could just tell.
And it's working out great for New York.
Yeah,
they love that guy.
It is.
They love him.
New York. I mean, you can somehow find a way to get into the second round, and you have a small chance that Randall comes back. I mean, there could be. It's a small chance. But could happen. They would have to play the Bucks or the Pacers.
Celtics and Knicks conference finals would be like just from
that would be cinema. That would be
brand standpoint. Having those fan bases go at it, that'd be so much fun. And it's just there's so much history there.
Next year,
it'd be awesome.
I think that could be a big next year thing if all else equal, everyone's healthy.
Yeah, if they reload, get healthy. Yeah, I could see that.
So let's go back to the West now. So we've been on the East for a little bit, and I think that's good. I think, and I didn't think the East was as intriguing, but when we started talking about the storylines in the East, I think the East is really something to watch.
There's some real talent out there,
Yeah. So let's talk. Who do we want to go with? Do we want to go with the two play-in teams, or do we want to stick? You're kind of talking about the Mavs a little bit. What do you want to? Yeah. Or do we want to talk about the most improved?
Let's
team?
just knock out the play-ins real quick.
Okay,
I say real quick, but they're definitely entertaining. I mean, we got the rematch of yesterday with LA and New Orleans, which LA put the work on New Orleans.
I've been saying it all
incredible.
Year. Let's talk about LA. Let's just do it.
Okay.
Here we go. They're playing tomorrow night. the Lakers and the Pelicans. We saw we saw how good the Lakers were for a 1-game thing. AD's got left right at the end with some spasms. I think it's cramps. I think he's fine. He said he was definitely going to play. So I'm going to assume AD at close to full 100%.
Yeah, he's going to be full health.
Get the Lakers out of B tier.
No, let me tell you why.
They do not deserve that.
Yes, they do.
No,
dude,
they don't.
I'm the biggest Lakers sympathizer.
Put them with Miami.
No. Miami shouldn't even be C tier. There's a lot of B tier teams in this playoff. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I might get big.
No, I can't do it. You get a healthy LeBron, a healthy AD, and they compete with anyone.
I get it.
And they will compete with anyone. Look at I know everyone says what I'm about to say is an awful metric. Look at the play-in tournament, man. Look what happened. You gave them some competition early on in the year, and they showed you, even in their old age, they showed you that they can compete with the fastest paced team in the league, in the Pacers, and they did. And then they played well against every other team they played against. Listen, any LeBron team in the regular season, like the Heat, coast through the regular season. They just coast. They just chill. Good enough just to make the playoffs, just to screw around, get an extra game,
Could they
get a warm up
game. Just good enough to make the 6th seed though, because they put themselves in this spot.
Yes, they could have. They were good enough to be a 4 seed.
Yeah, but turn up against these bad teams. They dropped so many games to.
It's because they would sit
squads,
and the only thing that's holding the Lakers back is Darvin Ham.
Oh, that's been addressed. He's just miserable. I don't know.
I'm just saying
know what they're doing there. He needs to go. Yeah, I mean, you can't put them below Philly. So I get it, but they got 2 top
you can
10 to 12 players. So, but that's just, I don't know.
It's fine. The NBA is better when LeBron goes deep into the playoffs. We'll hope for the best.
It's so much better.
But I feel like the way that you've talked about this Lakers team all year, if they get knocked out like super early, there has to be some kind of punishment for you.
That's fine. I will take it. They're not. I genuinely.
It's Denver.
If they play Denver.
It's Denver.
If they play Denver. No. Here's what everyone's been talking about, and I want to get y'all's opinions on this. Do the Lakers throw tomorrow night? Do they throw to play the Warriors?
About this, but no.
No, I'm serious. I would.
No.
No,
you don't.
Just to dodge. Yes.
One night against the Warriors, Steph Curry could go ballistic. Klay Thompson in his garbage, his most terrible season.
Every time Curry goes off, the rest of the team shits the bed.
That's not a good metric to throw a game.
I'm just saying it is. And the Warriors are old. They're slow. They're slower than the Lakers, which is tough to be.
But the very simple and best argument is if you're going to win, you're going to have to, if you're that scared of Denver and they're that good, you're going to have to play Denver. Like at some point, catching them early.
You're not going to have to play Denver. If Denver runs into the Timberwolves and you get to play the Thunder, who you are 3-1 against in the regular season, and you get to move on, and then you play the Mavs or the Clippers, who you're also 2-2 against both teams.
And if you throw and you successfully throw, which would be so hard, you light a fire under Oklahoma City's ass. And I don't know. I don't like it. There's no way. No way. With that being said, I do think they'll beat New Orleans, and I do think they'll be the 7th seed. I think it'll be a fun series against Denver. I think it's over.
You better hope AD shows
in 5. I think it's over in 5.
No, this team is. It's going to be a 6-game series. Denver will win. Jokic will prove too much, I think.
Maybe.
If the Lakers can find a way to avoid Denver. And I think the Kings beat the Warriors, if I'm being honest. I think the Kings beat the Warriors, and then the Kings beat the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans go 0-2 in the play-in. If the Lakers don't intentionally sell. Which I find it really hard to believe. To be competitive and intentionally throw a playoff game would be pretty risky, especially since it's a one game. So
we're putting the Warriors in C tier.
The Pelicans are a playoff team. They're making it.
So I'll put the Lakers B. I'll put the Warriors C. Pelicans. That's a tough one. I'll put them B. I think they're up there. Would you agree? They got it. If they're on, they're on. I mean, they got BI and Zion and a pretty balanced team. But
it's B or C.
I'm going to put them B. I think there's a lot of B tier.
I wish there was an in between B.
I think it's unfortunate that they stayed. They were a top seed for most of the year, and then they just kind of got shafted at the end here, having to play in the play-in tournament. Kind of sucks. I'm all year. I really like them a lot. They're so deep.
Yep.
B is good. They're going to make it.
I think so.
They very well could win tomorrow. But
I mean, if they run into the Kings, that might be a problem. Just because of De'Aaron Fox has been inconsistent all season.
I really don't think so.
They're on,
just don't think the Kings are very good.
Yeah, like this season, because of their inconsistencies, I want to put the Kings at C.
I want to put them
honestly.
in D. I really don't think they're making it.
I can't put a Western Conference team in D tier this year. I can't do it.
The 10 seed? You can't put a 10 seed? A 9 seed?
No, because they would be a 4 seed in the East. I'm just saying. The worst team in the West, Spurs, would be close with their schedule.
Stop. No.
Close to being a 10 seed. Yes.
No.
You put Wemby up against those.
No.
Listen here.
No.
Listen here.
They
have the Pistons, Wizards, Hornets, and Raptors all in the East. Are you kidding me? Some of the worst teams we've ever seen.
Spurs are one of the worst teams I've ever seen.
Yeah, without Wemby, they are.
Malachi Branham gets real last minutes. Game. Blake Wesley gets real minutes.
Spurs when the games don't matter. Ryan can attest. Ryan was at the last game of the year for a little bit.
They did not cook. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. The Pistons sucked. That was bad. Like it looked like just seeing like NBA players run into each other, knock the ball, like lose the ball out of bounds, fall out of bounds, fall into each other. Air balls hitting the bottom of the net, hitting the backboard. It was just a miserable watch, and it was beautiful.
See, it was beautiful. Heard it here first.
Devontae Graham's awesome, though.
I know, and the reason why he didn't play is because he would actually win them games. And turns out we didn't even get a top 3 seed for the lotto, so didn't matter.
Didn't get a top 3 seed in the playoffs either.
Also, this draft sucks. We could talk about it. We have a draft special way later on.
Oh, I don't want to do that
in the summer. Why not?
This draft is miserable.
Mid-off.
We're gonna have to. It's gonna have to be like a drinking game. Like take a shot every time you think a guy's gonna be a bust, which we'd all be. Plastered.
We could have a draft watch party.
That would be better. A draft live stream could be fun.
Stream? Yeah, a draft live stream. What do y'all think, guys? Leave your thoughts. I'll actually open up the comment section.
We could even do it for the lottery because, I mean, you'll have some vested interest in that because the Spurs could potentially have 2 top 6 picks. That could be very good.
Yeah. I mean, I hope the Spurs trade them both, honestly.
If you got the 5th and 6th pick, or I guess it would have to be.
I'd trade them both for a star. Not a star, but for Trae Young. There you go. Yeah. Anyways, it's not about the Spurs. We're not talking about them. We've already talked about the Hawks.
Not tonight.
Yeah, so we got how many teams? We got 3 teams left in the West and 4 in the East. Am I reading that right? Yeah. Let's talk about the team that y'all love talking about, and that is the Orlando Magic. Where do they? Celtics. They're kind of in. They're playing the Cavs, so Cavs Magic.
Oh yeah.
Where do we? I don't know. I don't know where I put this Magic team. Honestly, a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows.
It's early for them. This is a great, this is a great sign of things to come. I love their two young wings. Franz Wagner did not take the leap forward that I kind of hoped for this year, kind of regressed a little bit, but Paolo Banchero is the least talked about first overall pick ever.
Yep.
And I agree. Really get it. I mean, I get it. It's Orlando. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's not.
I don't get it either.
He doesn't have a huge personality, which I like. I mean, I think he's pretty low key. And I like him a lot, man. He's a 20 plus a game guy, super versatile defensively, good playmaker. He's like a big point forward. I love Paolo. He's going to be a star in this league. He's already an all-star. Jalen Suggs gives you all NBA first team level defense. They think they have decent depth. Jamal Mosley will be a top 3 finisher and coach of the year. It's a great season for Orlando. They're not ready.
And then you got those guys. You got those guys coming off the bench though. You got Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, all those dudes, really serviceable. 7, 8, 9.
Defensively, this team is super switchable. They have a ton of size. They can throw at any of these big wings in the East. I could definitely see them winning. I could see them winning a first round series. I could see it.
If the Cavs don't show up offensively, it's going to be pretty tough for them to overcome that defense. And I think that's a perfect matchup. That is two locomotives hitting each other head on.
It's going to be a defensive masterclass.
It's good. We're going to see 85 to 79 games.
We will. Mm-hmm. We will see multiple games that finish in the 80s or 90s.
And it's going to be
I love those games. I think those are the best games.
And this is also obviously the most clear pick for the NBA TV playoff series, the series that gets relegated to NBA TV. It's going to be on there, and I will watch. The rest of the nation will not. And that's okay. The Magic are on their way. The Cavs have a lot of questions to answer this offseason. Donovan Mitchell.
C.
Yeah, they're C. They're C. They're the best C that we've placed so far. Cavs are also C, so? I would say.
Cavs are C? Okay.
Until I get that poor taste out of my mouth from last year against the Knicks. Oh, God, Donovan Mitchell.
That was a bad series. That was a bad series. Stinky. I thought so highly of the Cavs going into that season, too.
Bad.
That was bad. But I think they got better. They didn't really play very much together. Everyone was kind of injured. So that kind of hurts them.
Mitchell missed some time.
Garland took a step back.
That or he didn't.
He's the only
he
one.
Actually did. I think he did. There was a point where I was like really high on Garland. I still am.
He took a big step back.
I guess I just wanted to see more.
His shooting was not as good. His 3-point percentage dropped by 4% on the exact same shooting. He dropped 4 points per game less than he did last year. Turning the ball over more. His defense is still there. He's still a good defender, I believe, or serviceable.
Just undersized, but
so I mean, unless he can figure out how to go back to his 2021, 2022, 20 or last year's season, then Cavs are probably a first round out.
Just an insane front court though for Cleveland. Mobley and Allen when they're both on. They're just so tough to score against. So tough.
And like y'all were saying with that series, it's going to be a really, really, really low scoring series. Probably playoff defenses here, and they're got some of the best defensive players on them. I will give the Eastern Conference this: they have the best defensive teams.
It's a lot of
but what separates them is their offense. The Eastern Conference offenses are just so stinky sometimes.
There's a lot of good D in the East. The Cavs will have a lot of questions to answer if they lose this series. Donovan Mitchell, leaving this offseason is the worst kept secret. If they go on a run here, if they make it interesting, maybe he doesn't. If they lose if their offense looks bad because of the double bigs again, like it did last year, they might look to move away from that, move one of Allen or Mobley this offseason. That's a team that could be in blow it up potential. So something to look for.
I would blow up that team. Well, I'd keep the front court. Look to find new backcourt talent. Maybe keep Garland. Definitely, Mitchell's got to go.
Damn, what Mitchell do to you? He's an all NBA. He's gonna be all.
No,
all
he's
NBA
a great player. He just doesn't. He needs to go. He needs to find somewhere else. He just doesn't work. He doesn't flow with the rest of that team.
What if he was on the Spurs?
I would love it. I hope he
There you
does.
go.
Come to San Antonio.
Let's trade those 2 first-round picks for Mitchell. That could be in play.
There you go.
That's better than the Trae Young deal. That's good. That's good.
Could be. Mitchell's not the facilitator that Trae Young is, though. So
Not quite. Nobody is. Trae is.
And honestly, you need
class.
you need someone like Kyrie Irving on that. Someone who could be a second fiddle at all times. But obviously, Spurs aren't going to get Kyrie.
No. He's not moving.
Okay, so where are we putting? We find C tier here.
Yep.
Yeah, C is good. We've got some good West teams to get to.
Should we just round off C with the Pacers?
Yeah.
And then be done with it?
We're gonna put the Pacers start off really, really nice, and I don't know what happened to Halliburton.
He got injured, man. That was exactly the point in time when he came back. He was not the same.
Yeah, what a shame. That was a fun team to watch too.
Oh yeah,
high paced offense, miserable defense.
Even if he's not hurt, maybe it's just a rhythm thing. It threw them all off, man. It's a shame.
It's been different, and
they're getting hot again.
Even before the injury, I don't know if they were going to make a serious run in the playoffs this year. They're definitely not now.
They did absolutely just class the Hawks. I know the Hawks didn't play anyone, but they dropped almost 160. I've never seen a team score over 140 points so many times in a season.
Yeah.
They're still the number one offense in the league. What's crazy that Tyrese Halliburton, before he got hurt, was averaging like 13 assists a game. Now he's only at 11. He fell off huge.
Yeah, it dropped. His points
I don't know if you can
by 4 or 5 points a game too.
If you can get past, if you could get, if you can get Pascal working with Turner, that could be something to watch.
Well, I think they're
another limbo team.
Is that Giannis right now is slated to miss game 1? That type of injury he had it's not uncommon for guys to miss 3, 4, 5 weeks. Giannis it's not being framed like it's that serious, and Giannis is a different beast.
It's the Bucks trying to find an excuse for just in case they don't win out of the first round again. Who do you blame?
It's a tough injury, and that worries me for the Bucks, because
I think the Pacers could win.
They could, and with the Bucks, you're already fighting an uphill battle with Doc Rivers inheriting a team that isn't the best team we've ever seen to begin with,
and he's also not the best coach.
What we're not talking about here is Giannis's injury, and I don't want to put any bad juju in the air or anything. That is the injury that we have seen lead to that Achilles popping. We saw it with KD, we saw it with Aaron Rodgers, same exact injury that Giannis just sustained. I don't want to talk about it, but it's something you have to consider and look out for. The playoffs are a grind. And especially if you're rushing him back because he's your best player and your only chance at being competitive in the playoffs, all respect to Chris Middleton.
Damian
is that going
Lillard?
to be a recipe for success?
Lillard still
Damian
exists.
Lillard just got snubbed.
Is that a recipe for success?
Have you seen Damian Lillard?
I've seen what Dame does in the
tour
playoffs.
Dates?
I've seen what Damian does in the playoffs.
Have you seen the funny? There's a picture. It's like Damian Lillard on tour, and it's all his shooting percentages from games. It's like 215,
dude,
318.
Him being the ultimate superstar at All-Star Weekend, and then going right back to mediocre
was
in
awesome.
The season.
It was the most Damian Lillard thing you could possibly think of.
Yeah, no kidding. And now we're hearing that he's unhappy in Milwaukee. Go figure. We'll see.
I wonder why. Milwaukee's a shitty place. Don't get me started on bad cities.
And if you're Milwaukee, are you rushing back Giannis in a year that you're really not likely to win? I mean, I don't know.
This front office seems pretty delusional. They think they can actually do something here. I don't see it, obviously. I'd put the Bucks in C tier, and I'm going to. even though you
right
have
now with Giannis,
two of the better
Giannis
players
up in the air.
in the world, Lillard just hasn't been good. Isn't this
justice
awful?
for
Just
Adrian Griffin.
New notification. OKC Blue win the G League title. So not only are the Thunder the number 1 seed, not only are they the number 1 seed in basketball, pretty much because Western Conference better conference. They're number 1 seed in the West. Their G League team is also the best team. This is,
and you know who they played.
Who?
They played the Maine Celtics, and our guys have been grinding in the NBA.
Okay.
Our best player, Keita, was balling in an NBA game yesterday. He got sent over to Maine today to go play in some fucking, or wherever this game was.
Osman Jang won G League Finals MVP.
Oh, well,
good for him.
To the Blue.
Yeah. Thunder rebuild needs to be studied for generations. It really does. This is something that's very impressive. Obviously, they haven't won anything yet. Too late. Yeah, speaking of the Thunder, here we are. I'm going to put them in B. High
Marvelous. Well done.
Because they're just incredibly inexperienced. They're about 2 years ahead of schedule, maybe a year ahead of schedule.
They're great. But we're going to see with them what we saw with the Celtics for the past few years, which is when they were ahead of schedule, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then it just wasn't enough.
I mean, if the Thunder run into the Lakers, let's say the Lakers do lose. No. The Thunder season is over as fast as it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will not win. I don't know why they decide they want to play like absolute morons against the Lakers. They play the worst brand of basketball when they play Los Angeles. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate for them that they are. I mean, this happened to the Celtics. Jason Tatum making the conference finals in his rookie year was like hindsight's 2020. That was more of a curse than a blessing, because every year since then, it's been like, well, they've had super teams every year. It's like, no, they just got fucking hot or lucky every year and ran into, and they were in a bad East. And so, yeah, of course, like they always just overperformed. The Thunder now are in a similar spot where they're super young. They're not going to win in the postseason. I could see them winning a series. If it's the Lakers, I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, if they don't have to play Los Angeles, I think they can definitely win.
And there's a good chance they get dumped on in the postseason or in the off season, where they're going to already start questioning Shea and if this team's legit. And it's like, hey, they're just young.
They shouldn't. Yeah,
they're just young.
Their most experienced player is 25 in SGA.
Yes.
Gordon Hayward. They do have Gordon Hayward.
Huge move.
Which I didn't realize, looking back on it, that Gordon Hayward injury was Jason Tatum's first ever game.
Yep.
Yeah. I cried watching that.
That's crazy.
I cried.
That's crazy to think about it. His first ever game, he had to experience that. What a memory.
Welcome to the league.
Welcome to the league. You might.
Welcome to the league. You're now the number one scorer on that team.
Yeah. Get ready, buddy.
Yeah, they'll have to play the Clippers or the Mavs, and those are the last two teams we got on this list. And I think that's a perfect. We did a good job at tiering these teams, right? So we're left with the last matchup. Who do we like here? Who do we like? I'm not sure. I think the Mavericks had the edge if Kawhi Leonard's going to be questionable the entire time.
Depends on Kawhi's health entirely. I think that the Clippers, fully healthy, fully loaded, could be an A tier. They're not. Don't put them there. I would put them at B.
I won't.
But yeah, it depends on Kawhi, and I don't think that this team has what it takes to even win a series against the Mavericks if Kawhi is not there. You know, you have Paul George, you have old man Russ and old man Harden. You have Zubac.
You have the experience. The experience is there.
The experience is there, but I just don't know if the ability is there, especially without Kawhi, especially to hang with Kyrie and Luka for 5-6 games.
Yeah, Luka's gonna, especially if Kawhi's not 100%, Luka's just gonna torch him the entire time. I know Paul George is a great defender, but then it's like, okay, well now Paul George can't be guarding Kyrie, and Kyrie just dropped 35, and Luka's gonna get his 28 plus, his 30 a night. So, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Ryan. I'm going to put the Mavericks B. Are the Clippers B? Are they B even with all this uncertainty?
Yes.
Just
because I think
B?
they're A. I think they're A with Kawhi healthy. They're A. I mean, they are so good.
You can argue the Mavs are kind of teetering into that A tier area too. They got deep in the they won the trade deadline for sure.
They have been excellent since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
They have the third best record in the league since that period, and the PJ Washington and Gafford moves were definitely good. And it's so funny that Luka, all he's wanted forever was like a backup center, so he can have somebody consistently to throw lobs to and run pick and roll with. Well, he got it, and Gafford's a good player, and they're a deep team, much better than they were this time a year ago. The biggest development for them was getting the Kyrie thing to finally work out. They played well individually of the other last year, but this year they're actually playing well off of the other. And I think that a big part of that was Kyrie's acceptance to be like, hey, Luka he's the guy here. And they play really well together now. Yep. And so, yeah, Dallas is right there. They're borderline. Let's see it in the first round. If Kawhi plays every game and looks good, no restrictions,
it's going to be pretty tough to beat. Yeah.
I would take the Clippers.
It's pretty tough to beat a healthy playoff Kawhi Leonard, as we've seen in times past. It's almost impossible, really.
He's just that good.
Kawhi Leonard might be the greatest what if in NBA history, if looking back on it.
Still going to walk away with a few rings, a few finals MVPs.
He's still a Hall of Famer. He's already guaranteed himself in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What, 2-time DPOY?
But yeah, kids will look back and be like, MVP. Kawhi Leonard, was he really all that? And it's like, yes.
He was
yes.
Go watch his highlights.
Just don't
go watch his playoff highlights. Just absolutely dominating the Bucks and
dominating
the
both
Sixers.
Ends. Just
special talent.
So crazy.
Dominating LeBron in the early years.
I cannot bet against him if he's healthy. If not, if he even misses one or two games,
is the third best player in the NBA.
I hope he's healthy. I really hope he's healthy.
Because we got robbed of this last year. He was excellent against the Suns in the first two games, left with the mysterious injury, and never returned. And that playoff series, that whole playoff run could have been way different if he was healthy. He's just capable of being the best player on the floor.
And we saw it. So going back to one of his teammates, James Harden, what he did against the Celtics last year was because Embiid was kind of shitting his pants. Harden it's still James Was
he's got it
count out. Yeah, don't count him out one bit. I remember watching. I was at the gym. I think it game 5 when he hit that 35-footer to win the game or something against y'all or something.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that was.
He had 45 in game 1. I mean, he had a couple stinkers. He's always. I love James, but he's always going to have a couple stinkers.
For one. Yeah,
he's due for a couple stinkers in every series. But if he's the third option,
it's a problem.
He can defer and facilitate. I really like LA still.
It's just one of those. I think both LA teams are both those limbo. They could be A, they could be D at the same time. Which product you're going to get every night is something. All right, so we happy with this tier list?
I like it. I think it's good. I think it's going to accurately portray a lot of these teams' performance. We're probably going to miss on a couple of them, but
yeah, I think more notably, we're probably going to miss on the Bucks if Giannis can. If Giannis can come back, the Heat, if they can do what they did last year,
nope.
I'm going to say it. Lakers, if they get the right draw, I'm just saying they don't have to play Denver. And then the Pels can do something special too. I think the Pelicans, that they got something going on. Maybe the Mavs.
There's definitely a world in which we were way too high on the two West playing teams and that LA and New Orleans.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're actually completely
they could potentially
miserable.
both miss it. I think there's no way they do, but there's a world in which it happens tomorrow night, and our opinion is immediately invalidated.
Yeah.
Root for
so we got
chaos.
surefire favorite, contenders, A tier, competitive. Got to show us something, and then no chance.
Yep.
And honestly, you could argue Warriors and Kings both belong in D, honestly.
Oh yeah, I still am heavy on the Kings should be in the D. There's no shot.
You know what?
No
I
shot.
did too. I'm going to adjust that.
All right.
And
They're miserable.
I really want to put the Warriors in D tier. I think both 9 and 10 seeds on both sides are pretty putrid, but I can't bet against Curry. That's the only problem.
For as long as you have Curry and the infrastructure,
as long as you can do something.
You can do something. You can definitely win a series.
So let's move into real quick because we said we were going. Let me switch my screen here. Now we have the bracket.
Oh, hey.
So we got the full bracket here. What are we thinking here? So we'll start with the East. Can we make a bracket here? How do I do that?
Not on that
Or is that on
page that I
ESPN?
sent, but if there's a...
Oh, NBA playoff challenge. Here we go. All right.
Oh.
Hold on. Create a bracket. Cool. Okay. Hold on. Let me switch screens here. How do I do this?
Yeah, I'm going to make one as well.
screen.
I think it'll be fun to...
NBA playoff challenge. Here we go. All right, here we go. So can we see this? All right. So let's say the Lakers take this game and the Pelicans take this one. So we have we'll start in the West. All right. So Thunder Pelicans, who we have?
Wait, hold on. Thunder...
Holding.
Oh, wait, we don't... It
Thunder
doesn't
and
have you pick
Pelicans.
play-ins?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't.
So
we're assuming that the Lakers and the Pelicans do what they're supposed to do. All right, so we got Thunder here. Clippers, Mavs. I have Mavs. What do y'all have?
I'm going to take Clippers. I'm
I'm going to
hoping
take the Clippers
because
because if we hear about
Clippers,
Kawhi,
Clippers,
it changes.
okay.
But if right now he's playing, I'd take the
Okay,
Clippers.
that's fair. I find it hard to bet against Luka Doncic right now at his prime, at his peak. But I understand. Yeah, it's really compelling argument. So we're gonna go. This is no debate. Timberwolves just match up better, unless KD can do what KD has proven he can do. I don't know. The Suns are so inconsistent, and the Timberwolves have been the staple for consistency in terms of just defense and overall team play. So Nuggets, Lakers, unfortunately,
Nuggets.
the LeGoat run ends here. And we'll move over to here now. So now we have Philly, Miami. Who wins that? Who wins the first game? Philly or Miami? Who matches
that's
up
going to be a
against the
good one.
Knicks?
Probably
Yeah.
Philly if Embiid's healthy.
I think the Knicks win no matter who they play.
You think so? I don't know. I think if they got to run into Philly, it's going to be a big. They don't have anyone. I know they have Hartenstein to put on.
They have more momentum than anybody. I believe in the Brunson magic. He just seems like a great player.
He's got that aura.
He's got aura, man. He really does. He's so terrifying to play against. I mean, I know he's undersized guard, and in the playoffs, I don't know how I really feel about that. But in the first round, yeah, I like the Knicks.
All right, Ryan, do you have the Knicks? I
Bet
have
on aura.
the Sixers.
Bet on aura.
I have the Sixers. So it's up to you.
I want to say Sixers, but I'm going to rock with the Knicks.
I think Embiid is just going to take a series to play himself back into shape. You know,
that's my thing is his health and his, knocking off the dust. I just don't know. I think the Knicks are probably a safer play there.
I find it really hard to bet against a 35 point per game shooter on their score.
Yeah, but let Embiid, the way to beat them is let
55%.
Embiid do his thing and shut down the other guys. And the Knicks have the best size and wing perimeter defense in the sport. So
you can stop Maxey. Yeah, that's fair. So we'll go Knicks here. I I personally like the Pacers. I think Siakam can shut down Antetokounmpo if he plays, and then Lillard just let Lillard shoot. Honestly, let him shoot. 40% from the field, 35% from three. If Lillard shoots more than 15 shots, they're not winning a single game.
Yeah, he might shoot, especially if Giannis doesn't play. Lillard might shoot them out of that series. I'm going to go with the Pacers.
I'll go Pacers because Giannis looks to miss at least a couple games. So,
and like you said earlier, that injury is just tough to come back so quick. And honestly,
we saw how that went last year.
I'd shut him down. I would shut him down. I would call this season just chalk it up. You don't want to ruin your superstar's long-term health. And especially the way Giannis plays, an Achilles injury could be absolutely devastating.
The timing of this is just horrible, though. God, it's just awful.
Yeah, it is. It really puts you in a bad spot. But we saw Kevin Durant, he was able to transform his game to be strictly outside shooting pretty much. And, Giannis can't do that. Giannis has to play physical.
No, Giannis is not doing that.
A leg injury of that magnitude would be absolutely devastating to his career.
Yep.
So we'll move on. We'll go with the up here Celtics. I always joke saying when they play the Heat are going to win. I find it really hard to see the Heat even win a game against pretty much the only super team in the NBA.
Yeah.
Maybe they steal that classic game 3, the first one that goes to Miami.
No, I think they win game 1 and then y'all start freaking out.
They won game 1, dude.
Awesome.
Dude, we'd have to cut the rotation to like 6 guys and just play everybody 48 minutes.
Are we starting a dialogue? A dialogue if they win?
No. Well, if they win game 1, we'll start the dialogue because it'll be real, but it's.
I know y'all
happening.
are being tears. I'm waiting for that group chat. Evan, Evan's gonna send the most heinous text over to y'all in the group chat. It'll be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Great.
And the thing is, Evan's invincible because Evan's a self-loathing Lakers fan. So he's like, "Oh, we were supposed to lose anyways." So
yeah, it's not a year next year.
All right, so the more intriguing series, we already talked about it, but let's talk about it again real quick. Cavs and Magic. I got Orlando Magic. I got the boys. Play the theme song.
Yeah,
this is Orlando the new Light the Beam trend. This is Light the Beam. This is the new and improved Light the Beam.
It's so much better.
Man, what happened to the Kings, man? Just thinking about that. What a shame. They were so good last year, too.
They were
Curry
kind of
dismantled that team.
Yeah, they were kind of like the Vikings last year when they won 13, when they were like 13-3.
Yeah.
They just kind of overperformed in clutch games, and that was what the Kings did last year when they ended up with the 3 or 4 seed. Or they end up were they playing last year, or were they were pretty high.
They were a 3 seed.
Yeah, they were the 3 and the Warriors were the 6. That's how we got that awesome series. Yeah, I think the Kings were they were too early and they overperformed. They're really not.
They all took a step back.
Yeah, they just regressed a little bit. Light the beam, though.
Yeah, light the beam. Orlando Magic. Okay, let's move back over to the West. Thunder Clippers. This is assuming Kawhi Leonard's healthy. And I'm going to take the Clippers here.
Yeah, because for all the reasons we said earlier, the Thunder are overperforming. They're ahead of schedule. They're young. The Clippers have still have the talent, especially if Kawhi is healthy. They have the experience. I think that assuming the Clippers are all healthy and ready to go, I think that that's probably a fairly easy series for them.
I agree.
I could see it being 5 or 6 games. Yeah,
I could see it being 7. I think the Thunder. I could see that. It's giving me the 2012 Thunder vibes all over again. It really is. They don't have the same. SGA doesn't have the same aura as KD, but
they don't have the same amount of talent, of just raw talent. But there's parallels for sure. For sure, you would argue that the 2012 Thunder were probably
the
early.
way it's running. Yeah. So we'll go there, and then of course, I think the Timberwolves win this. This is such a cursed NBA playoffs too. Timberwolves had the edge. You stop Nikola Jokic.
No. They can't
Gobert
stop
stops Jokic and everything. Yes, you can. that it's not as good as the team as they were last year.
This is the best
you hold
player
Jokic
in
to 20,
the
10
world.
and 10. I know. I'm just saying. You
No.
put them up against
Nuggets
Gobert.
win. Nuggets win, and we get an amazing conference final if it's Clippers Nuggets. But the Timberwolves are still early. They got swept last year, man.
Y'all are both Nuggets here. Nuggets is the feel good choice here, defending champs. I think the Timberwolves win if they got to play. If the Timberwolves play the Nuggets, they win. I think you're able to easily stop Jamal Murray for sure from being impactful, and then the rest of the team just crumbles underneath because Jokic can only do so much with a team that has no bench depth. Yeah, he can. He can give you 30, 15, 15.
I think you're sleeping on Christian Brown. Elite.
I really am.
Role guy.
I am sleeping on him. I'm going to be snoozing on him.
Played huge finals minutes last year. Now he's ready for a playoff run.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Not moving. I'm not moved there.
All right, fine.
All right, Knicks and Pacers. That'll be an exciting series.
Knicks.
I don't even know how that. So this is now setting up for a Julius Randle return against the Boston Celtics.
Well, we didn't even talk about the Celtics and the Magic. How they have so many awesome regular season battles, and the Magic win.
Actually, we should talk about it. I'm sorry.
They really match up well against Boston. We lost Ryan for a second, but I faith he'll reconnect.
Do you have me?
Yeah, we got you.
It says trying to reconnect. Okay.
I guess everybody's back. Okay, everyba's here. So we're still
back.
Good.
We're back.
Yeah, I mean the Magic theoretically, like I said, they're really early to this. But in like a year or two, you would argue that they would have the best lineup to throw at Brown and Tatum because they've got Franz Wagner, they've got Paolo Banchero, huge size on the wing. Jonathan Isaac can just shut guys down for stretches.
It's a great team.
That being said, the talent gap is real, and Porzingis can do awful things to them. That's where that trade really will show its promise. And yes, it lines up for an amazing conference finals. If this is the result, it's generational in East and West.
It could be. Yeah. Overall, they only played 3 times this year. That's interesting.
There's something to that. I get. Oh no, I guess they should have.
Celtics are 2-1 against the Magic this year. Last year, the Celtics were 1-3 against the Magic. Could not beat them.
Struggled.
And then
it's a good young team.
They won 9 really straight before that. They actually got swept in 2019 against the Magic. Interesting. Something.
Yeah, it goes way back. Then the Tatum and Brown era is tainted by Orlando Magic matchups. It's just rough. But
I think that'll be a good 6-game series. I think all these series this year have potential to go 6-7 games, which is really refreshing. Maybe,
I really like this bracket, man.
I love this. This playoffs is setting up to be a really good one, I think.
Starts tomorrow. Can't wait.
It does. So we got Clippers, Nuggets.
Nuggets.
They match up.
Yep. Nuggets.
No one can stop Jokic on that
Nuggets
on
Celtics,
that Clippers
baby.
team.
Let's go. You wanted it. We're going to get it.
This is what you wanted, everybody.
Like
Here we go.
It's looking like it. This is what should have been last year.
It's a year late, and I don't think Boston would have beaten Denver last year. This year, hey, flip that shit, flip it. No,
I don't know. You got to convince me. I'm in control of the. I'm the
pre-show, or maybe it was on the show. I don't remember. You claimed that Jason Tatum could be as high as a top 3 player in the league.
I did say that.
There's the flip.
Hold on, let's talk about the Celtics.
2 top 15 guys. We have yet to see it in the postseason, of course, with Porzingis. But this is a new look that they've never had. This size at the center position. It's just a wrinkle that they can go to. They expose mismatches so often with Porzingis. How many times this year have I seen them throw it to him at the free throw line and just kill whoever they got in a switch? Mazzulla's really amped it up. I mean, how could he not? I mean, last year was his first year. He could only go up from there. Look, the Nuggets are the Nuggets, and they will have the best player in this series. I just think the talent runs too deep for Boston. I
would agree.
I think they're going to have a relatively easy time in the East, and then they'll be ready.
I want to say if Randall came back, how many games does it go to? Does it go to 6?
Probably 6.
Probably.
If Randall comes back,
probably 6.
That's fair. Yeah,
that's Celtics, a good Knicks team. I like them. I like them a lot.
Yeah, great on defense. Just injuries, man, really just tore their season apart. What a shame. Hopefully Randall can somehow fast track this injury. If the Knicks can make it to round 2, you're going to have a chance to get Randall back. I think maybe it's going to be pretty tough. But
their trade deadline was huge. I was really wrong about I did not really love the Quickly and Barrett trade. Maybe I'm biased because Quickly always murders the Celtics. But I thought that was way too much talent going out the door, especially when you're going to have to really pay Anunoby this summer. And that's where it's going to hurt because he's going to get probably more than you'd like. But for the time being, for this playoff run, if they can get Randall back by then, that's nice.
It's a good team. So, all right. Well, good stuff. You heard it here first. And you have not heard it here first because I guarantee you there's been hundreds of sports media outlets that have said the Celtics will win. And as it looks right now, that's just how it is. I can't see it any other way, honestly.
It's tough to go against them. Feels like this is their year. Looks like this is their year.
Yeah, and especially in a league that we don't have super teams and the Celtics are the only one that kind of qualify to be a super team. Gives more the 2012-13 Miami Heat more than anything with just the way they're set up. So I would consider it a super team. And like I said, there's no one else that's even sniffed super team really. I mean, if the Suns are all healthy, sure, but the Suns are not always healthy and not always consistent. So just looking at the board,
4th best net rating of all time. They're right. Yep. They're right up there with the 17 Warriors in terms of net rating, the 96 Bulls, and ironically enough, I don't think it was the peak Spurs. I think it was 2014.
It was the 15 Spurs that won 67 games.
They're only behind 2 Jordan Bulls teams, and then in third is that 14-15 Spurs team. And of course all those teams won 15-16. Those teams all went on. Well, that team did not win a championship. But that Spurs group did. So yes, the pressure is definitely mounting, but this team is just head and shoulders above, at least the East.
Yeah.
The Nuggets, I still super high on the Nuggets, but
I think y'all are a little too high on the Nuggets, but it's justifiable because they have the best player.
Yeah. It's just a vote of confidence in Jokic and their infrastructure.
And I completely understand.
For sure.
I don't agree because of who the Nuggets are besides Jokic, but I want to point out, being a Spurs fan, you got to talk about them once. That 15-16 team that won 67 games and was second place. To the 73 team Warriors. Tough looks.
It hurts.
What could have been? Spurs had a lot of those what if teams. Very sad.
The Spurs were never the same.
Nope. Oh well, we would have never got Wemby if we were. This one's
could have won with Kawhi.
My goat. Could have won. My goat, Wemby.
It all works out.
Yeah, I would like to present before we end the show. I'd like to present my alternate bracket. Okay.
No God.
So
no one wants to see this, man.
Lakers lose, and the Lakers turn into an 8 seed. Check this out. You ready? Check that out. Boom. And then all of a sudden, what? Okay. So hypothetically, I actually like this. I love the East. The East side, I think is perfect. I completely 100% agree with everything. Maybe, thank you, shout out Darius Rucker. Maybe if the Heat play the Knicks, they might be able to do something here. But I think this is pretty good. What happened? What is going through a Boston Celtics fan's mind if LeBron, they had to play LeBron in the finals?
Don't care.
Just think of the past. No,
don't care.
You do care.
No.
Don't lie. Y'all are lying.
Dude, if you gave me the choice today, to guarantee us against the Lakers or the field, I would choose the Lakers, knowing that I don't want to play Denver. If the Thunder made it that far, I wouldn't want to play them by then. If the Clippers made it that far, I wouldn't want to play them. If I could guarantee a date with the Lakers after 4 grueling rounds, presumably they're not going to sweep their way there. I would take a date with the Lakers all day.
After all LeBron's done to y'all, and you're just going to ignore it?
He's the GOAT.
It's the past.
He's the GOAT. If you drafted the Lakers and Celtics, if this was pickup and you went through it, you would take way more Celtics guys, dude. It's not
and I'd still take LeBron over anyone first.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. And that's fine.
And then I'd take AD second. In that series, healthy AD is better than Jason Tatum.
Whoa. All right. Okay. That's all the time we have for today.
We're gonna go play.
That's all the time we have for today.
2K or go to bed, whatever.
Chat, is this rage bait?
No, we're just not entertaining it.
AD is better than Jason Tatum.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Thank You Bro podcast. We've had a great time ranking all of the playoff teams this week and going through our playoff bracket of what we think is going to happen. This is the answer key. March Madness didn't count, doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more amazing content from the three of us. And be sure to check out our website. New articles published weekly on tyvsports.com. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and we'll see you next week.
Signature.